Technical College, Elgon. We mentor student skill leaders in Makerere University. We are mentoring in Mbarara University. We are mentoring in Uganda Christian University. And then Mubende National Teachers College, as well as Guru School of Nursing and Midwifery. So that is part of the mandate. We are all doing all this to contribute to strengthening to our democratic processes and having better leaders. This is a contribution we are doing, and our motto is for excellence in leadership, security, and development. So we focus on governance, on security, and on development initiatives, like what we are doing with the refugees, South Sudanese refugees in Bidi camp in West Nile. So in brief, that is the Africa Leadership Institute.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gerald.
Yes, good morning, listeners. I'm called Muhwana David. I work for Kapchorwa Civil Society Organizations Alliance. And this morning, I'm privileged to be on radio to come and share with you pertinent issues that pertains our region. As Kasoa, we operate across the 3 districts, and for the last 5 or so years, we've been doing a lot of civic education in the communities. And today we are going to amplify one of the areas that we've been emphasizing to you. We've been telling you that power belongs to you people, and that when you elect people, they hold those offices in trust for the people. Now, today we are privileged to partner with the AFLI, which operates at the national level, and they are going to give us an audit report on the performance of our leaders, so that you can actually relate on the theory that we have given you vis-a-vis the practice that is on the ground. And I hope you'll give us all the due attention, and we shall have fruitful interactions. So welcome on the program.
Bwana Moderator, thank you very much for this program. I can begin in Kupsabin. I can tell them like I twana lumda radio ti. Because to call you mig lumda radio and Mangmole Ani Ukwak Master Charles, Chairman of Concerned Citizens, who are going to talk about issues to deal with the scorecard. And I want to thank my senior Dr. Gerald and Kazoa for giving us this time that we are going to pass through what our leaders do in whatever they are always doing. May God bless you as you follow this program. Thank you.
All right, Keita Bon Garoman Marion Data Massa Charles Maga Stage Bobiga Jabon de Gamiti studio. Now, Kajang Mogaroman le, Chel Mobatele, power, Kinye mite big up court. Dene at Pashita Pshoni Barichingat Lambagando, Kijek Payajek Yegel ne Kando Iktiju. So, program Yejebonde Pshon Laginye Bareji, the Tir Gage, Net Kegaroman, sing it chingat like Nene Wetitai, Kalejitaga Amdagasto live from Queen. Thank you so much, MT Live on Sebe Nation. So, Materocha Dr. Gerald Duelike Wanzara. Nyejone Africa Leadership Institute kamo neto karomenga ye Africa Leadership Institute la sheme karomenga jegas la bigo kije mite ginyo rugando shetni tabon karom. So materocha Dr. Gerald Welike Wanzara, we have power belongs to the people. Power belongs to the people. But where is this power? If you would give us more light on that. You're welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Mark. Before I take you to where the power lies, we must reflect. We talk about democracy. Everyone talks about democracy. What is democracy? For me, one of the people that I admire the most, Nelson Mandela, defines politics as an art and science of management of society. But in Uganda, many people think that politics is about lying. Okay, but it is an art and science of managing society so that the lives of the people can improve. Okay, then it brings us now to democracy. What is democracy? it puts people at the center. So that's why it is defined as the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Mark those three words: government of the people, for the people, and by the people. I wish I knew how to speak Kupsabin. I would try to emphasize this. Maybe you, my colleague, you can say something about that.
So, Gerard, Mangmola Mingmo Unele, what is democracy? And what is leadership? Is trying to define those two. Mangmole, Gamole, Kasmetit Nyababigo, Nyongini Bigo, and
Kubabigo.
Kunyobabigo, Amnila Bigo, Gidget taking any decisions, singing like quite the right what? Leadership. That is according to Gerald.
Thank you very much. So now, if we reflect that it's the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Now, let's ask ourselves this question that Mark has asked me. Where does this power lie? In Uganda, you are hearing people power. Others are saying people's government. Others are saying people's parliament. Everyone is trying to front the people. But where is this power located? Now, if we go to the 1995 Constitution, under Article 1, Article 1, you know that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land of Uganda, that it is above all other laws in this country. So the Constitution of Uganda recognizes in Article 1 that all the authority and the power of this in this country emanates from the people. Not from the leaders, but from the people. And then the same Constitution says, power belongs to the people, who shall be governed according to their will and consent. Will meaning you willingly go and elect a leader. If it's an MP, you go willingly and elect. You should not be caned to vote. You should not be bribed to vote. You have to exercise your will, because the decisions that these people are going to make will affect you. Okay? Then Article 3 of the Constitution says that if any person tries to abrogate the Constitution or tries to amend it unlawfully, the citizens of Uganda have an obligation to defend the Constitution using all possible means. You see that? That article also gives the power to the people of Uganda. Now, when we go to Article 38, Section 1 and 2, it says that all Ugandans have a right to influence how they are governed, that we should not just sit there. We have to influence how we are governed. Under Section 1, it talks of either individually, you as a person going to exercise your right to influence. That is why you spend a whole day in a line, because you want to vote a member of parliament, because you want to vote an LOC 5 chairperson, because you want to vote a president whom you want. Then Section 2 says to influence through civic organizations. Now, what are civic organizations? I'm here with Kaksoa. This is a civic organization where citizens come together and influence how you are governed, whether you have water in Mayok, whether you have a road. So they're influencing. They're not after victimizing the leaders of Sebei, but they are there to ensure that they influence such that the people are served better and the leaders also execute their mandate properly. Now, if we move from there, why do we always on radio giving information to the people? Now, the same Constitution says citizens have a right of access to information. And Parliament in 2005 went ahead and enacted another law using an act of Parliament, which is called the Access to Information Act, that citizens of Uganda have a right to access any information, including that in government hands, like Parliament, where we pick this information about MPs. So that this information is a right. And you know that a right is God-given. It's not granted by the state. If I say I have a right to food, okay, it's not a state. I have to eat. Naturally, I have to eat. The same with information. So, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to us, those are areas. So when we bring all these laws together, that is where the power and authority of we the citizens comes from. And therefore, when we choose leaders, we form what is we call a social contract. A social contract. This social contract is between you, who chose your MP, and the MP. Even if it is not written anywhere, but it is already implied. Because the law says you have the right. The law makes an MP have duties to execute. Then the law gives you the right to vote. So if you are a giver of that job, of voting an MP, then you have a right to know how that MP is performing. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Gerald Welike Wanzala. Kangala lenito ngale chechonge kinamake ago Parliament. Choni gilnendo nyorugil nebi ko kamuga iwekchi kwa angu kamwa netoka romenle yokache kwa ishajek kaje yuenji members of Parliament ishiet kujonye jegure la social contract. Now social contract le jebonda jek pick up kore chedebe members of Parliament le mlegi jek kwa yak kije gono gishit kitawa ine kijage kije kwa yak. Now chiku ngarakyotin karomela jebonda ge Dr. Gerald Welike Wanzala inyogi jon report card kimik mobi kala mwinyanet ngalek chogi kikiba bi jogi biga jonga kwa majeba tele jiwitega nyoga bigo batiat kajo netong gutyonin neto la ginye joni lugita genge nyegi gasaka karomenle the members of Parliament jo chayok takwe kijage bashit nyo botatya kiwakwi ishet nyo chayok takwe ndo kiwakwi bate ishengwa. Now another thing la gangala lele meet ndara stit nyejo mula ginyor bigo logo yue kalak to kol bajo mite yon nyagap kasimeti kilo ginyor tajekte ambo ngalek chona mage ago members of Parliament aminye meet ndara stit nyejo mula ki accessing gile chaga togol information da logo yue kalak to kol jige majengat jamungin ndara stit la nyor logo yue tijo kujindara stit dinyo kinye go jini jekto ambo ga muga yue kinyor ngalek alak togol jena mage ago memban kwa kwek chobo Parliament ambanda nile mano gune mariondet mukwana David nene ngila magasta biga alak chemite kufollowing gene jimita nyeche gurala na masoko kala mite live from Somalia Mogadishu kemite Kevin Kibet live from Nairobi Kenya kimite Shedrack Leon Cheboriot live from Kwasir aitabon garom jemite live amsebe nation. So Mr. Mukwana.
Yeah, thank you, moderator, for giving me this opportunity. I want to thank my brother, Doctor, for the elaborate information that he has given. And from the little presentation that he has given, there is one very glaring issue which I want to emphasize. He has said that power belongs to the people, and we can, in one way, we can exercise that power is by going out to vote. From the previous elections, we have seen that most people actually have not used that power. That during campaigns like this time when we see campaigns going on, people are making a lot of noise, but when it comes to voting, you find that the voter turnout is very low. So I think we want to remind ourselves that much as we are busy shouting and promoting our candidates, we need to make sure that we are eligible to vote. And when that time comes, make sure that we go and vote 100%. And then, of course, the other thing I want to emphasize is that you've been reminded that we as citizens, we have a right to engage in civic engagements, especially in passing out information to the people. And I want to emphasize what the moderator said, that the issue of this scorecard is to give you feedback, that this is how your leaders have performed, because they went there on your behalf. And that if they went on your behalf, you need to know how is their performance. And I think that is the essence of us coming here today. It is just like us parents, when you send your child to school, you expect that at the end of the term, there should be a report card which says this is how the child has performed in class. So this is what we are doing. And as we do all this, we are saying that Uganda is a democratic country, and therefore it must fulfill all the elements of what an ideal democratic country is. We don't have any ill motives against anybody, but we just want to say this is how our leaders have performed. I know because of resource constraints, the scorecard is maybe restricted to members of parliament. But with the time, we are thinking that this scorecard business should go at all levels of business, of leadership, from the members of parliament, the councillors at LC5, at LC3, at all levels, so that we really make sure that our leaders don't sleep on their job, but they do what they purport to want to do for the people. Like during this election period, you have seen people have made very wonderful posters, they have made very good pictures, and they are presenting themselves that they are the right people to represent the people. The people. So let that be matched with action, that when you convince people and say, yes, I want to go and represent you, we want to independently, and I think that's the essence of the scorecard. We have independently evaluated our leaders, and we have scored them to see whether they actually fulfilled their mandate or not. And this is, of course, a reminder to those who are aspiring and they are coming, that the moment you access a political post, make sure that you are on the spotlight. You are supposed to deliver to what you are expected. I know there are a lot of contradictions where, for example, when you elect your leaders, you expect handouts from them, you expect them to pay school fees, but that is outside the mandate of, we are looking at their performance vis-a-vis what they are supposed to deliver and not what they expect to deliver. Those are some of the issues that we are here to clarify, and I'll be very glad to hear your feedback in most of these things. For now, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mukhwana David. Kangara le netoka romanle. Piko je jangle mauga romanla haka maje kando shet ni laga urgando shet ni jamajala jawalangando i. Daba shet yenyo je kwaishe mababiga iwa kwais. Chumoi netole katome bate nye ngale kapkari ndega kuyembo AFLI kugon scorecard nyebo kija piko to koljo migando shet singeti anga dingle kando indet nyo kichek pai mig kuye choma jabi kap korit dobrio. Wega saba andeng mibi ko goyong dos kije berbicara kita pun ngati dene pija nitujo muje je yuenti manda pija nitujo kagarana nito kiwishon dok cho mita kwek ang mawala berwachi jibi ko donyo luba de bijet la jek kwaya deo go we ujige parliament yu tenga lek choki opting pick up court so bandeng matarot marion data Massa Charles ito kinye chairman ne concerned citizens
marion data moderator mangmole. Thank you for this. In a very special way, I want to thank African Leadership Institute for bringing out such very important points. Our people in most cases have failed to differentiate between democracy and their rights. That is the problem. What is their right? What are they supposed to play in leadership is the biggest challenge that our people have. Because if you say the democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, meaning that it is the people who played a great role in this in these issues. So therefore, this is now the time. This is the greatest time that we have as people of Sebei to evaluate these leaders that we have, beginning from LOC1 up to members of parliament and up to the head of state. You have that mandate to guide the people, you see? So therefore, I want to so much go into Kupsabi so that they understand. First, this is the time. It is not the time that we should say it is an harvesting time. It is the time that now we are going to harvest. We are going to bring back what we left. What did this person do in the last 5 years? Then, Kitage, these leaders are now going through what we call digital campaigns. What they come to do on radio in most cases is that they come and say, I want you to vote me back. But you have not asked them, what was your manifesto? What did you want to perform in the previous time? And what have you achieved? But you find a leader coming and saying, I want to be voted back, turn or tenor. What is the meaning of turn or tenor when you did not perform? So therefore, I expect people to perform their duties. But the issues where a person comes and claims for turn or tenor, and yet in Parliament, I've been looking at this scorecard. There's a very big book here, because we are live. There's a very big book here. It has all the 7 members of Parliament, the 7 members of Parliament of Sebei, and it has all the 400 members of Parliament and above. But in this scorecard, you're saying you want turn or tenor. Yet in this scorecard, you only have 3%, which means you've not been attending parliamentary sessions. You've never attended parliamentary sessions. 2 is that in your committee, you are 0. Have you seen? So which means you are not representing the rights of the people. You are not representing what the people of Sebei sent you to do. And now you come and claim that you want turn or tenor. You understand? So this is very critical. This is very, very critical. And I want to, in a very special way, thank the people who printed this book, especially the ED, who is a very learned man from Karamoja. He's called who?
Prikol.
David Prikol. Prikol has always been a critic. He has always tried to shape the leadership of this country. But now this is the time that we are now going to assess. And I think you've come at the very right time, because these issues, people are now rushing for money. They are making lines, but forgetting to assess these leaders that, okay, I'm now going to cast my vote. What kind of a leader when you don't have service delivery at the hospital? Bwana Mark, always we see when we become sick, you don't have the right medicine. The medicine that is supplied to the hospital gets finished within 2 weeks. And these claims are not represented there, you see. And then you come and say, we want another Kisanja. Another Kisanja. Kisanja when you're not doing anything. Because if you look at the scorecard here, people who are mainly in opposition are scoring high. Pigoji opposition banile kujimi scoring and high, meaning that Pigoji Chang who are elected on the ticket and they don't want to attend the sessions, they go and sleep. They enjoy, they take tea. In fact, some of them are very active members in taking tea. That one concentrates on tea and forgets the constituency for that time. But now this is the time. In the last few, after African Leadership Institute presented this scorecard, I saw some of the members of Parliament trying to service as if they want to talk. But all along, they have been sleeping and thinking that this time would not come. Now it has come.
Others were criticizing the card.
Others were saying this card is lying. It is not lying. It is in the archives. It is in the audios. Kije recording. People have recorded the audios and videos of how you present in Parliament. People, in fact, some leaders we normally see during the budget presentation. You really see your leader sleeping when they are presenting a budget. You now ask yourself, your district is read with the smallest budget. What is the essence of now being in Parliament? you have to take note of everything that they are reading. Maybe they want to steal things. You see? You go to, because most of these things, it comes through what we call committees in Parliament. Most of these things, if they appear in Parliament, they are subjected to a committee. Just to those committees, those committees of Presidential Affairs Committee, Parliamentary Accounts Committee, Parliamentary Legal and Affairs Committee, COSESAS, we have Education Committee, and we have the Social Services Committee. All those committees have issues to play. But now, you have a leader who has been taken to a committee. But for the first year, the first 1 year, this leader is still reading the Constitution. He has not understood how the rules of procedure are acted. Mengatle, what is the Constitution? What does it read? The rules of procedure of the House, how is it? They have sent the order paper on his iPad. He doesn't know how to open the iPad. He's from the village. You see? So we find that we find a challenge. Now that people are rushing for money, people want to vote for money. But when it comes to the issues of performance, performance, for you who voted money, you voted the wrong leader. But because he wants to recover what is lost during the campaigns, he will concentrate so much on recovering. First of all, as he enters Parliament, pop, a brand new car of about 200 million. They give him because he's entitled. It is in the Constitution that each session of Parliament, members of Parliament are supposed to be renewed with the cars. Two, when it comes to issues of constitutional amendment of articles, they are the first to say, aye, without even consulting the people. Now, where is the power? So this is the time that we need to exercise the power of the people. Under Article 1, the power belongs to the people. Why don't you eat this money, and if you don't see the leadership in that person, you jump? That is, I think that is right, because you want your share, and we cannot deny you. They have brought it, because this is taxpayers' money. It is strictly taxpayers' money. People pay their money. People, for me, when I go to the Shell to take fuel, I know part of that money goes to a member of Parliament. So therefore, how do I account for the lost period of time? You see? So this scorecard that we are discussing today is a very big tool that we need to go page by page. I am one of the critics of social media, and I want to use this scorecard page by page, and I will be following committees where members of Parliament from Sebei are. Which number are you? Are you in 0.0? If you are in 0.0 something, then we shall now say, okay, for the last 5 years, you performed and you got 0.0. So can you tell us, what do you want to go and do? I want to inform, but I've been looking at postures of some of these leaders. They go and make very beautiful postures, so that when an old woman just comes, he will just say, but there is no sense in it. This one is very smart, let me tick this one. But that is not the substance. A person has been actively absent in the house. Because when parliamentary sessions come, when certain bills come very fast, they pass them very fast because they know members of Parliament from Sebei are going to come late. Because some of them attend Parliament late. That it was a jump, what? When things have been passed, you have not taken the decision and you have not represented the people. You see? So those are the key challenges that we have as a region. And now, the scorecard, recently when we published it on media, when African Leadership Institute was unveiling the scorecard, people took screenshots. And when they took screenshots, they're displaying on social media and said, okay, you see your MP from Bukwa? 0 point something. Then now they said, kumbe this man was only in the corridors. We voted the leader who was in the corridors is not in parliament. So, and then another thing that people have been noticing in Sebei is that when you go to UBC, because they televise these parliamentary plenary sessions, when they televise them, you try to see, you try to see, where is my member of parliament? He's nowhere.
Backbencher.
He's nowhere, he's not there. Even in the backbencher, because the camera is covered. And then you only see the likes of Nandala speaking, Nambeshe, of Mbale. Where is mine? Can I give time or until the session gets finished? Now, but of reason towards the last, I saw some now when issues of coffee bill came. Some of ours now tried to lean against where it is nearer to the camera. But in most cases, they fear cameras. So I don't know whether they are allergic, but we shall try to ask if these cameras are allergic to members of parliament. And then we should not only rate members of parliament, we also have local council. Local council, what? 5. You've elected you've voted a leader at local council 5. This leader at local council 5 does not know how to read. And then the technical staff at the district are very smart. They do their things on computer. And they say, this is now the budget. This is the figures we have computed in percentage. So for you, the councillor, you don't know the percentage. What does this percentage mean? So your work is just to pass. But without knowing that, you would have sold your sub-county. So if you look at the local council 5, look at the composition of the district councillors, look at the composition of the DEC members, look at the composition of the female vis-a-vis the male, you find that in local council 5, about 3 to 4 councillors out of 30 know how to read and write. They know how to read and write. Then 2, if you reach the section of debate, because it is all about debating, if you read the section of debate, some of them will say, we want to sign our money and go. Why do you waste our time? So is that how they voted you? You are supposed to debate. You say there is no road in your sub-county. There is no LA Center too. But for you have not represented your people because you don't know what is written in the order paper. Then the rules of procedure for local government, they are there. But you don't know. In fact, one of the days I attended a council session in one of the local governments in Sebei, I got that some serious member of a councillor, of a local, they call them honorable councillors. You call a very big peasant a local government councillor. And this peasant was saying, please forgive me, I want to raise my point in Kupsabi. Because now you can't raise it in English. you swear. So those are the challenges, and we pity that they are overridden. So you find a very big issue. So if you find here on the scorecard, in this book, they are categorized in regions. They are categorized in Bukedi, Busoga sub-region, Sebei sub-region, and then all along. And it is to our dismay that some of the leaders that we entrusted with the power, they have not exercised. But you will find that these leaders are the first to be re-elected because they have the means to enter into power. And the only means to enter into power is money. Service what? Delivery, you see. So those are the key things that we need to look at. As African Leadership Institute, we request you that you continue doing such things, even to the lower level, because they might pass budgets, but they end up at a certain level in the pockets of some people, and people are not enlightened. You see, you've passed a budget of a road, but because some people do not know how to read some of these things, they end up in the pockets of the district engineers and above. So those are the challenges that we have. People are not educated, and people don't know what they want. After voting, they say, for me, I finished. Let those people eat for 5 years. When they come back, we shall sort them out. And those are the key challenges that we normally pass as leaders, as the people who pass information. And then now, for us, I think you must be facing, Doctor, a lot of challenges, because people will attack you. Why did you give me a percentage of 10%? Don't you think you did not see me on the camera?
And yet he knows very well that he was not there.
He was not there. He did not attend the session. So how do you blame the institute for producing what they have done? Did they know that someone called Nambeshe was there who was overperforming? It is the system that tells that this person was performing better. You see? So those are the key things that I wanted to put across. And I want to tell my people, yes, it is power belonging to the people. How are you going to exercise the power now? Is the key question. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Master Charles. Kata se chichmbo tonde tage denela majino gne sa tage dene ambanding kache ngala lekaro menle mitonu this power. Power belongs to the people. Now, perjengala le parliament as an institution. I got findings about the report. I'm go borrow the card logi performing under parliament as an institution, logi performing under members of parliament on individual basis, I go regional. They never check the institution of parliament. Dr. Gerald.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the active citizen. You know, our our vision of this project, we call it to see the impact, is to have active and informed citizenry enjoying their rights through accountable and responsive leadership. Okay? And so when I see a member from the Concerned Citizens Association trying to put things in the local person's perspective, really we get excited about it. It shows that so many eyes will be open. But now, before I go to the findings about the institution of parliament, I think it is important that we reflect the article or the act that creates parliament. What role does it put on MPs? We are all going to elect MPs. They are in the village canvassing for votes. When we are sending them at this time, what does the law say they are going to do? And where do they perform those roles? Many of them can tell you, for me it is more important to sit with my people at home and drink warrage. For example, there's one MP from southwestern Uganda who finishes, you know, the law says if you miss 15 plenary sittings consecutively, you are supposed to lose your seat. The speaker takes you to the rules committee, and then you are ejected from parliament. So that particular MP, whose name I will not mention, from Western Uganda, waits for 14th meeting, then appears once, and then goes back home.
For more 14.
For more 14. But when we sent our researchers there, they say that he's very good in buying waragi in the trading centers in his constituency. Now, I talked about a social contract. If you vote a member of parliament based on waragi,